Alabama's a conservative state, and they deserve conservative representation. I'm going to do everything in my power to give the legislature an opportunity to draw 7 congressional Republican districts.
This week's Supreme Court ruling now opening the door for Alabama to flip 2 congressional seats. It's where we start tonight. I'm Kenesha Dees. That was Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall just after it was announced today the legislature will be holding a special session to redraw the state's congressional districts. Back in 2023, a landmark Supreme Court case ruled Alabama's 2021 congressional map violated the Voting Rights Act by packing black voters into a single district, limiting their ability to elect additional representatives and diluting their voting power. SCOTUS ruled Alabama had to draw a new map featuring a second majority black district. In a statement, Governor Kay Ivey says she hopes the state will be able to return to its previously drawn congressional and state Senate maps, saying, quote, "I am ensuring Alabama is prepared should the courts act quickly enough to allow Alabama's previously drawn congressional and state Senate maps to be used during this election," end quote. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala tells us how the potential changes could impact your vote.
Alabama is asking the Supreme Court to reconsider its congressional map, a decision that could impact voter representation in upcoming elections, including this primary. The controversy centers on whether Alabama's proposed congressional map dilutes black voting power, specifically in District 2 and 7, and whether that map can be used in the upcoming primary election.
As we divide districts by race, we tend to create more division in the nation, and we are the United States, and so I think that everybody should have a voice in the process.
According to Mo Brooks, a Republican candidate for Alabama House District 20, while he believes the redrawing of lines is necessary for this election, there are limited options for changing the timing without disrupting preparations.
The legislative races, do they get postponed too, or do they stay May 19th? I hope the legislature will keep those on May 19th because there are tens of millions of dollars that have been spent on the premise that a primary is on May 19th.
Brooks says if district lines shift, voters could be placed into new districts with limited time to learn about new candidates before casting their ballots on May 19th.
What happens if when you draw the new district lines, you've got 2 congressmen in the same congressional district? That means there's an open congressional seat elsewhere where nobody is an incumbent.
Democratic gubernatorial candidate Doug Jones says the special called meeting and possible redraw won't be simple, warning legal and logistical hurdles could create confusion for voters, especially those planning to vote early.
Parties are going to have to qualify people all over again. You're going to have a period of time, possibly a runoff in some of those districts. We don't know. And then there is the statutes that require all of this to take place a certain length of time before the general election. It is going to be a circus.
Some voters say they share those concerns about how districts are drawn and who they represent.
What we need is representation that matches the voters, and we need to make sure that our districts are drawn to meet the needs of the voters, not the needs of the president.
Local 5051 organizer Jeffrey Engel says this issue is far from over, adding plans are underway for protests at the State House in Montgomery on May 4th. In Huntsville, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
If the congressional primary is postponed, officials would need to set a new date and soon.